you all for being here. My name is Dabota. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Entertainment Week Africa. Today's session is titled Collaboration and Empowerment, a Catalyst for Growth in the Beauty Industry. So let's get into the business of the day. To warm up this session, I'm going to ask a general question that I want each of you to answer, which is, what does collaboration mean to you personally in the beauty industry?
Thank you for that question, Dabota. So first of all, I'll say collaboration to me is actually power, because it kind of sets the stage for you to fly, to be elevated. I mean, if not for collaboration, I won't be here today that's seated on this panel. So, I mean, when you read my bio, you mentioned that I won the pitch at the Beauty in the Motherland last year. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm present in this hall today. And I mean, there's a saying that says, I hold that saying very dear to me a lot of times. It says, if you want to travel fast, you can go alone. It's not a problem. No one says you wouldn't win. But if you want to travel far, then you have to go with people. So collaboration holds you together. It literally elevates you. So for me, it's power.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. So let's hear from Oluchi.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much, Dabota, for that question. So, for me, collaboration helps to solve complex problems, and the problems of man are complex, right? So, the way God created us, He created us as solutions to problems. So, each person has a solution that is hidden on the inside of them, and they have what they are bringing to the table to solve a particular solution. So, for me, collaboration equals solution to complex problems. So,
Thank you. And Hilary?
I would say collaboration is building community or helps build community. Even in the skincare industry, you really cannot do everything on your own. You can't know everything. I'm a cosmetic scientist. I would need the help of a dermatologist. I need the help of an esthetician. I need the help of an aesthetic doctor. There's so many people that you kind of need to work together with to actually move forward in the industry. So definitely, I'll say building community.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to go into the first section, which is why collaboration matters. We've spoken about it already, and I hope all of you have gotten some insights as to the importance of collaboration. So let me start with Oluchi. Okay. In an industry where brands are often encouraged to compete, what has your journey at Muna and Luchi taught you about the advantages of collaboration over competition?
thank you very much. The thing is that, when you go for pitching competition, one of the pages is competitors. They ask you who are your competitors. But the way I like to look at it is that in every industry, everyone is supposed to bring a solution, like I mentioned earlier. So for me, when it comes to that page, I'll just say, what makes me different? What am I bringing to the table? What have these people done that I haven't, that I can bring to the table, right? So for me, and then the first thing I like to say about what collaboration has taught me is, number one, it has taught me that it shortens the learning curve, right? There are people who have gone ahead, of me. There are marketers who have done this before. There are manufacturers, there are formulators who have done this before. When I collaborate with them, whether it has to do with education or just, maybe like having a panel session like this, I learned so much that in a short time that I wouldn't have learned if I was on my own. Another thing that collaboration has taught me is that it builds validation, right? And it also it amplifies your expertise. So when you collaborate, for instance, collaborating with Entertainment West Africa right now, it has built my validation on this platform, they're going to be like, okay, this person is doing great work because they are partnering with this platform. So the collaboration, the partnership that we're doing right now with regards to education is very good. You know, it amplifies the impact. Another thing is that collaboration has also taught me that, you know, if you look at competition, it can build you as an individual, right? If you're just thinking about yourself, you know, you can grow as an individual. However, your impact is limited if you just stay on your own. But when you partner with other people, when you collaborate, your impact is expanded because you can share audiences, you can share communities, you know, across, and that way, you know, the industry grows bigger, and you know, solutions are provided on a deeper level for that.
Thank you so much, Oluchi. So, well, amazing insights on, you know, the advantages of collaboration as opposed to competition. Now, let me come over to Ngozi. Ngozi, I love Ngozi so much. She's an amazing person and so hardworking, and you need to hear her journey and her story, and it's also inspiring. So, Ngozi, education and professional training are central to Jack Beauty. How has collaboration shaped your success in building such a strong, skill-driven community?
Thank you, Dabota, and I love you so much too. I've known Dabota for years. When I was a makeup artist, do you remember? Let me check. Oh, yes. Thank you for that question. I mean, without education, I mean, you can't go far. You can't actually, especially in this industry that I'm in and in this field that I'm in as well. I started as a makeup artist, and in 2017, I packed up my makeup bag and I said, no more. And I took a year off to find out what to do. I had no idea what I was going to do in 2017. Not that I wasn't doing well in makeup, I was doing very well, but I was tired of, you know, doing the same thing over and over again and not knowing exactly where I was headed. So by 2020, I decided to go into skincare, and I started, of course, I got knowledge online and all of that. But let me say I collaborated with Beauty Institute, one of them where Hilary was. I actually trained at Beauty Therapy Institute, and I've gone ahead to get other international certifications as well, like CDESCO. And without those collaborations, I would not advance in the industry. I would not be able to present to communities and even to people at large. Because right now we're servicing families across the world with our skincare brand. I would not be able to offer that kind of confidence or that kind of solution if I did not have that level of education from this institute. Also, I've collaborated with other estheticians as well. Trust me, you know, like Oluchi was saying something about competition. Sometimes you're looking at your competitor, but that person can actually collaborate with that person to gain more. Let me say that in Beauty Therapy Institute, for instance, when I was in PTI, you know, I went in to shock you. I actually got into Beauty Therapy Institute when I turned 40, and that's 3 years ago. And everybody in my class was like 2 decades younger than I was. But you know what I said to myself? I said I was going to behave like I didn't know anything, and I was going to go in and learn from everybody. And because of that attitude, till today, a lot of them are my friends. We collaborate on several, you know, programs, and that is why I've even advanced. I've gotten training in higher education in the aesthetic industry. I've also been able to feature in platforms like Makeup in Paris this year in June. We're also in Algeria, and we're also in Doha as well, just because I decided to open myself up to people to learn from them and to get from them rather than seeing them as my competition. And it will surprise you to know that these same people are in the same industry as I am. You know, so that's what collaboration does for you. It elevates you. So for me, it's collaboration or nothing.
Amazing insight. Thank you, Ngozi. Now over to Hilary. Collaboration can be a powerful tool for visibility and trust. How do you decide which partnership truly aligns with your values and long-term goals?
For me, collaboration is very much rooted in science, in values, in integrity. I do not collaborate just for noise, I collaborate for impact, especially because my background is grounded in science. I have a BSc in cosmetic science. So for me, I understand the importance of everything science, research, everything that I do, especially with my brands, and the brands that I collaborate with, or even individuals, has to be based on science, has to be that people that are knowledgeable, people that have the experience, people that have the expertise, the license, and things like that. So for me, it's very, very important that I look into those. The skin is not just an accessory, like it's an organ, it's the largest organ in your body. So you need to take care of it and look after it just the same way you look after your other organs. You're not going to go to a quack if you have issues with your eye. You'll go to an ophthalmologist, So you should actually pay that attention to your skin as well. So knowing that, it makes me look at certain factors when I'm working with any individual or brand. One of them is science and credibility. Do you do research? Do you gather clinical data? Do you have formulation integrity? Do you look at things like efficacy in your products? Do you look at safety? Things like that for me very important. There's also transparency. Are you honest with the results that you put out? Are you honest about your claims? For me, those things are very important. I would not back any company or work with anybody that I know would have claims that can be deceptive to consumers. There's also integrity. If you have a product, are you putting out or putting out your ingredients list on the product, because a lot of people now actually have products and they don't put the ingredients list. So for me, it's important that there's that transparency. There's also consumer empowerment. Is this product going to make the life of the consumer easier? Is it going to reduce confusion? Because there's a lot of information in the market at the moment. So for me, it's important that I'm able to simplify things and consumers can actually understand and make better informed decisions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was super amazing. In fact, I learned a few things now. And these are some of the things that it's not just for your industry or our industry. It cuts across every other industry when it comes to dealing with people. You have to really understand research, and build a level of credibility to trust other people when you're aligning your brand with them or your business with them. So moving on to the next section, we're going to be talking about empowerment and community. So I'm going to start with Oluchi again. So I know community and education is a big part of Mona and Luchi. How has investing in people, parents, children, and your wider community directly contributed to your growth?
Thank you very much. Okay, so the way we started with education and empowerment. I'm a teacher at heart. Anything I do, I have to understand it first, and then be able to explain and transfer that knowledge. So with Mona and Luchi, I started with my daughter's hair, right? I actually started with my hair, but when I gave birth, what happens to moms happened to me. I lost a lot of my hair. So, but she came out with so much beautiful hair, and I was like, let's maintain this and grow it. And then, you know how you go to church, you go to different places, they keep asking you, what do you do? What are you doing? So I was like, if this is a common question, then it means that a larger audience needs the knowledge. So I went online, basically, went to Instagram and started sharing the journey, the entire journey, how I wash her hair. I would, I'm a researcher also at heart. So everything I would put the step one, do this, step one, and I'm sure at that time, this was 10 years ago, it was like, do we need steps for how to wash our, children's hair? But I saw how it was helping people. They were seeing the results, and they were coming back for more answers to how to care for their children's hair. And, it built trust with me. So that's the number one thing. It built trust. So what started happening was any question that I got, I mean, I didn't shy away from questions. Like I said, a teacher at heart, right? When they asked me questions, I saw it as an opportunity to create something that would solve a problem. The first thing we created was a satin, we call it satin blusters now, which is short for bowel line busters. So you know that bowel line that comes up at the back of baby's head? So when I had my child, the first child, I would put a satin, because I didn't want her to have that thing. Like, it's just not cute for a little girl, right? So I always put a satin scarf where she was going to lay down and all that. And then when I suggested that and explained the steps, some really posh moms were like, no, it's to suffocate my baby and all that. And I was like, okay, we need to create something that would not pose a suffocation hazard. And so we created our first program, and it was out of collaboration. So I had to collaborate with my tailor to come up with that solution. We call it a crib bluster, the crib bowel line buster. So it's made of satin. It has a little layer of foam. So you put it in the crib, wrap it around, so it won't suffocate the child. It can't slip off the crib mattress. So people began to purchase it. Like, there was no label, there wasn't packaging, there was nothing. Like, most of our products were sold without packaging. I just provided the solution in a container or provided it in a fabric, and the loyalty and trust that I had built with my audience made them buy it. Our pre-wash conditioner, which we got a raving review from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I will always talk about this, right? It was a product that I created during the lockdown. People were struggling with detangling their children's hair. And I wasn't struggling. Why? Because I have this product that I would just do aloe vera and olive oil. And I would just tell them, please just mix aloe vera and olive oil, you'll be all right. Some moms are like, I want something that is, like Hilary said, something with ingredient list, science-backed. And luckily for me, I had done my Formula Botanica course. I was like, okay, why don't we just go back to, the drawing board and create an actual product? So, and that was what I did. It was locked down. There were no branding guys, were printers. Like, I didn't have access to a lot. So I just used a marker to write pre-wash shampoo. And I sold dozens before my husband was like, why are you embarrassing me like this? Why can't you just call somebody, let's just create something and print and just at least let it look nice, right? So it built so much trust that people are willing to buy from me. We launched our salon in August. We're not struggling. And it's because people, the education, the empowerment that I've given over the years, and people have implemented it and they've seen that it works. Like our children, I have people sending me pictures of their babies when they were born 10 years ago, they didn't have hair. And then 10 years later, their hair is so long. It's like what you tell us, what you've been teaching us works. And then when we started our salon, initially talking to my stylist about growing hair, it was like, oh man, this madam is just talking. Until they saw my daughter, is this a hair? Is this a hair? It built confidence in what they were doing at Mona and Richie, right? So it builds loyalty, it builds trust, empowering people, educating people, it builds trust, and it helps your business, right? So it's very important to see, I've never really seen my community members as, like, let's say, people that will buy from me. I just see it as people I'm collaborating to provide a solution. This solution costs money, so you just pay, and then, my time and effort and everything, you pay for it, and you go. So that mindset that I'm working with parents, working with caregivers to make hair care easy for the people they are taking care of is just what it does. So
Wow. Can I just say you have a new customer? Because if you have a little girl at home, you know what it means to go through that process of getting them ready with their hair. I have been going through it for 9 good years, and I don't know if it's going to end. Sometimes I just give up. I'm just like, what, just tie up the hair. I'm tired. Or go to the salon and just go and do whatever you want to do there. When she's there, she won't see me. She's not at home. There'll be nobody to run or cry to. My daughter can take 20 breaks just to do it
And
properly.
Muna and Luchi makes room for that. We have this nice environment that children can feel very comfortable in. In fact, there was a parent that came one time and her child slept tough while doing her hair. Initially she was dramatic, but we welcome that, And then suddenly she dozed off. She said if she was not in that room when it happened, she would have thought it was AI. Because the girl, they had to tap her up to. So we make room for that, and we are built for that. We are built for that. So
Please expect us very soon because
thank
I'll
you.
definitely be coming. Thank you so much for such an insightful, speech, and I've learned so much, and I'm looking forward to experiencing Mona Luchi next week.
Oh, thank
I'm not
you so
even
much.
wasting time.
Thank you.
So, let me take you on, Hilary, for the next question. So many African consumers still hesitate with science-backed skincare. How can creators and brands collaborate to build more informed and confident audiences?
So I think one of the reasons why Africans are still quite hesitant is because a lot of the people that actually give advice on skincare really shouldn't. So when you do or go to someone who doesn't really know what they're doing or know what they're saying, like they're listening to somebody say on Instagram who is not very knowledgeable about skin or is not trained to handle skin, you end up having bad experiences, and that bad experience builds distrust. So just like I said earlier, you will not take your eyes to a quack, you take your eyes to an ophthalmologist. So it really is the same way you should take care of your skin and make sure you're going to someone who is an expert, especially when it comes to dealing with skin concerns or major skin concerns like hyperpigmentation, acne. You need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing, so that way you rarely have issues, especially with dealing with skincare products and ingredients that have high actives. So what I think the best way would be to some kind of collaboration between researchers, creators, and brands. So researchers go out, do the research, come up with the clinical data, come up with all the scientific facts, hand it over to creators who then simplify it, which is what I also do. I mean, I'm a researcher, I'm a scientist, but I also simplify information so that way you understand what you're putting on your skin and how it will affect your skin instead of things that you do, and then working with brands as well, making sure that the brands are honest and creating transparent formulations and formulations that we know would actually work for not just everybody but for the African skin. So I think that would definitely help.
Thank you for that. Ngozi, so please round up this section for us. Empowerment often translates into loyalty. What role does empowerment play in sustaining long-term growth across our industry?
I think Oluchi spoke to that in a way. For instance, Jaga Beauty, we have a community of women that we constantly empower right from when we started makeup. So we started building a community on social media, our different platforms. We have a community on Facebook, we have a community on Instagram, on WhatsApp as well. We have a community as well. We call it the Jaga Beauty Skin Circle. And one of the things that we do is constantly educate these people on, ways that you could, use your skin can bring that confidence that you never have had. I remember when I was a makeup artist, because of how I was constantly dishing out tips, beauty tips. I didn't know much, but you can imagine being in an industry where you cater to just women constantly. You have to know everything about a woman. And that's how sometimes I'll be in my studio then and someone will call me and say, Jaga, I'm in the market, I want to buy my cream. Please, what cream? I was not in skincare. In fact, I never in this life thought that I would ever go into the skincare industry. But because you're in the beauty industry, they expect that you should know that. And that's because I'm constantly giving. Sometimes it actually mean you going beyond your limits. But that has built some kind of loyalty, just like what Oluchi said. I remember when I switched from makeup to skincare, at a point I was like, who's going to listen to me? I'm a makeup artist. Would they buy? When I started formulation, would they even think that I know what I'm doing? But guess what? The very first year we started, which is, by the way, will be 5 years tomorrow. The Jungle Beauty Skincare will be 5 years tomorrow, yes. So we transitioned from makeup to skincare in 2020. And I was scared when I was going in. I was like, who's going to listen? But because of how we constantly will elevate our women by collaborating with them, most times we hold workshops. I remember then I always had this DIY. During COVID, for instance, we had all the 7-day skincare challenge. What did I know then? I was one of those I used to use tomato on the face. I'm sure Hilary knew me then. She would ex me. But I mean, these women, because they trusted me so much, everybody, they followed me. Like, I had people from Russia, from Germany, and all of that join that my group. And they were getting results. I don't know how. But that, collaboration with this women builds that loyalty and trust that by the time I transition now into a certified cosmetic scientist and also a esthetician, the journey has, maybe what would have taken me 10 years to achieve, I've been able to achieve in so short a time. Because these same people are my buying customers. In fact, I started correlating because of one of those people. She told me, say, Jaga, you're always telling us what to do. You're always referring us to other products. And these products are working. It's obvious that you know what you're doing. Why don't you start? If you start, we'll buy it. Literally, that's how I started. From that, her name is Tolu. She's presently in Canada now. Before then, I never even met her. It was just online. And that was how we started. So that's the kind of loyalty it builds. And the consistency that, I mean, there are times that you feel like you want to give up, but there are people there cheering you on because of how you collaborated with them. You built their confidence. You built some of them. I remember a guy, the very first guy, client that we had online, he said to me, he said he had this cystic acne. Then I didn't even know what it was. But he said that it has affected his self-confidence so much that he doesn't go out. If a guy will tell you that, how much more women, we don't joke with our skin. He said it has, imagine that guy too, he probably cannot even talk to a lady. This same person, just a few days ago, this is 5 years ago, sent me a message like he's a constant customer now. So it builds a lot of loyalty. It's very, very essential in ensuring that people believe. And like Hilary said, we're also a brand that we put everything out there. So, for instance, on our package, on our branding, you will never see me hide any ingredients. Because, I mean, even if you see everything, you don't know how the product came about, because I know how I formulated it. You can take all the ingredients, so what's the point hiding it? But the essence of us putting it out there is because we've always thought over the years that it's important. You know your skin like yourself. I don't know your skin as much as you do. So the first thing you do when you pick up a product is you want to know what it contains. Because even if I tell you as a certified esthetician that glycolic acid is good for your skin, you already know from history that that's your skin's worst nightmare. So it's important for you to pick up a product and be educated. I tell my clients, I say, please educate yourself. You can come to my clinic and I tell you this is what you need. And you can tell me, no, a client came to me when we started our clinic in 2023, and she said to me, she reacts to kojic acid. I've never seen that before. But I thought she was joking, but I kept referring other products I had, even if it's 2% kojic acid. And she would just break out. And then one day she took it out of her routine. Of all the products that contain kojic, she took them out of her routine, and her skin began to blossom. So when she told me, I had to listen, because she knows her skin better than I do. So it's important to build that kind of trust and loyalty with your growing, your community. That way, the rest is history.
Thank you so much. One thing I have observed with the ladies here is research. You're big on research, and you are also transparent with what you're doing, and that's how you build trust. I like how organic your brands are and how relatable you are, and the essence of building community through the process. It's such a beautiful thing, and congratulations to everyone here. So we're going to quickly move on to the next section. This is going to be a group discussion, so no particular question to anyone. We'll just all have this conversation. And it's around barriers to collaborations. So we'll open this up and start with Africa's Beauty Space, where we hear conversations about trust, territories, and knowledge gaps. What do you think is the biggest barrier to collaboration, and how can we overcome it? So anyone can jump in on this.
Okay, maybe I should start. I think in Africa, particularly Nigeria, first thing is clarity. Clarity. Most times, just get into collaboration. Oh, look, we'll do this now. We just do it, you know. And then somewhere along the line, someone is disgruntled. Someone feels cheated. You know, it's very important. You know, to solve that problem is very practical. Just be clear. Be clear on deliverables. Be clear on tasks. Be clear on deadlines. Be clear on what, and then document. We need to be more document conscious people in Africa, in Nigeria, okay? Zeroing in. You know, we need to feel comfortable with writing things down. Because it's like sometimes when you're, okay, let me write it down. It's like you're too serious. Like, it's not just to do this now. Do you understand? But we need to document so that it's in black and white. Honestly, this is what happens to me. Anytime I pull out my notebook, it's like, madam, it's not that serious now. It's not that serious. You know, because recently I actually did a collaboration with an influencer. And I was like, okay, so maybe just call a lawyer, draw up the agreement. So I was looking at me like, it's not just to post your thing on my YouTube. And I literally called the lawyer. I said, write it down. I want it written. She may not know, or, you know, anytime anything happens, I was telling you about it. So I said, even if anything comes up, right, I'm going to draw it up. I said, you know, I told you that we need to do this thing. So documentation, and everything has to be clearly spelled out. If we're able to see past, it's not just this thing. You know, not take anything for granted. This is a partnership you're going into. It's possibly going to get into the aspect of, you know, monetary rewards. Because once money comes into the picture, you know, body language changes, right? So it's very important to have that vision that this thing can be bigger than us. So because of that vision, you provide clarity and you document. You know, that way, you know, we can solve some of these barriers to collaboration in Africa.
Thank you so much. So Hilary, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I'd say maybe fear of sharing information and knowledge. I find that it's something that happens a lot here where you're doing something and you're prospering in it and all of a sudden everybody wants to do it. Most people don't even know your story. I mean, I worked in Procter & Gamble. I have a degree in cosmetic science. But when I moved back to Nigeria, I didn't necessarily move back with a plan. So I kind of had to like figure things out. I knew that I really didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. So I started off writing for Bella Nigeria. Hilary says did not start as something that was meant to be retail brand. I had a degree in this thing. I had a passion for it. Like it's something that I talk about and do if I wasn't getting paid. And I started writing free of charge. And then it became a thing. It became a blog. And from being a blog, and I'll do like consultations for people. Like when I recommend products to people to buy, they're like, oh, where did you get this product from? And that's how retail started. So it wasn't like I started even thinking of retail. And then I noticed, like, because when I started, I was very, very focused on research and making sure that what I still do for now, I research every product, the ingredients list, make sure that the ingredients in it can actually match the claims that are being made, formulation parameters. So there are a lot of things that I looked for in products that we started stocking, and a lot of the products were not even well known. And then it just became a thing where these products are everywhere, and we see people literally coming to the page and just lifting everything. After I decided that, okay, all this knowledge that I have, I'm going to give everything to myself. But I thought, you can never have the experience that I have been in this industry for well over 16 years. I have a degree in this thing, and it took me 4 years to get that degree. There's no amount of information that I give you that you can become me. Also, apart from the fact that I have the knowledge, I have the passion for it. Like, if you wake me up at 3 a.m., I will talk about these things that I do on a daily basis. If you take every penny from me today, I will still do everything that I'm doing the way that I do it. So you cannot have that passion. I am the one that has that. So I think it's that fear of
sharing information. But if you just understand that nobody can be you, then you just wouldn't care.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So let's hear from Ngozi.
Come from left off. Really, nobody can be you. So for me, I just believe that everybody's journey is different. You might be in the same industry, in the same field, or you can't. For instance, let me just say this. For instance, like I made reference to the ingredient list of this product. Now it might be my all, and then somebody picks it and says, "Oh, so this is Jaga's ingredient, for instance," and they go and. But first of all, they don't even know the percentages of the different ingredients or the pH of that product. So they go and just gamble everything together, maybe even ask ChatGPT to help them. And it will, but it can never be the same. For instance, at Jaga Beauty, we combine African botanicals and science. And I remember when, let me just use the opportunity to say this. I remember when I went into last full time, I decided to get a core understanding of cosmetic science. And I went into the industry and I realized, now first of all, Jaga is one of our best-selling products for African black soap. Now I realized that for everyone who came into that training with me, who was already formulating and had African black soap in their product line, they dropped it after that training. But I looked at it and I said, this product, even before I went to school, was, well, I did other online courses too. I actually did 4 different courses to study African black soap. And I realized, I said, this product is a bestseller for a reason. And do I just want to drop it because there's a stigma on African black soap? Now, what many people do not understand, or many other people who have African black soap, is that I have studied African black soap to the point where the pH level is saying, we have our African black soap at 5.5. Meanwhile, you will have some, the reason why they're afraid of African black soap is because the alkaline is very high. Yes, it's about 7 tons. And it can actually dry out your skin and cause more damage than good. But I remember when I went in, I started this journey as a formulator of skincare from 6 months after my son in 2019. I had cystic acne. I didn't use African black soap to clear it, by the way. But I realized that many people who were attracted to what I was saying were new moms and pregnant moms. You know, when you come out of pregnancy, you have hyperpigmentation, melasma on your body, not even just on your face. So I wanted something that would help brighten their skin tone, not their face, their skin tone, without drying up their skin. And I did a trial and error with that soap till I got it right. And till this day, if you try it anywhere, our soap is one black soap that would not dry out. We have over 12 ingredients in our African black soap jar. And so it's not only brightening, but it also hydrates. Funny, right? It also hydrates. And you can go to our website, you see the reviews. They say your black soap is the one black soap I've used that has not dried out our skin. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we might be in the same line. That's why when I look at people in my industry, the truth is, and I'm saying this before everybody and before God, I don't see anybody as a competition. Yes, it's good to recognize your competition. For me, my competition are those who are ahead of me and doing it right. So what can I do, to either do it better or to get to, that point where they are. That's what competition is to me. Not, I must do better than this person. Next year, it's not this brand behind is my brand. No, so for every time I look at a brand, I'm literally studying them to see what I can get to better myself and my community. Remember, I'm also answerable to a community of people. So now, at the end of the day, if people stop being afraid of, this person is going to copy me, what are you copying? How many people are in this world? How many people can you cater to? In Lagos alone, I alone cannot cater to everybody in Lagos. So why are you afraid of, she's going to take my customer? I remember when I started skincare, by the way, when I was still using turmeric on my I'm always reporting myself. When I started that, somebody reached out to me and said to me, Ngozi, you're copying me. She was my friend. I said, you're copying me. And she blocked me on all platforms. I'm like, excuse me? This is everywhere on YouTube. Like, who are you? Like, I should copy. But my point is, today we're actually back together as friends. But my point is, who am I copying? There's everybody in the world to copy. So don't be afraid of copying. Rather, think of how we can better each other, how we can come together. Imagine if we all come together as a community of women in the beauty industry. And our sole aim is to educate women on best practices for their skin. Because there was a time where if you're looking for the most bleached skin in this Africa, it's in Nigeria, you find them. So how can we educate these women to best practices? Jaka Beauty, for instance, we are a family-centric beauty and skincare company. So whatever we're doing, I like to say one for all for one. So that soap or that face wash that we are formulating can equally be safe for a 12-year-old daughter who will suddenly develop adolescent acne because she's getting into her prime. So please stop. We shouldn't be afraid of sharing. Don't be afraid. I have friends in my industry, and we attend seminars together. When I see a link of something, maybe like a grant or something, I share with them. I don't know if they share with me, but me, I'm sharing with them because I'm not afraid of something. But I want us to erase that mindset of she's going to be better than me. Like Hilary said, our journeys are different. Our visions are different. We might be in the same industry, but I might be thinking of meeting the African market. She might be thinking of meeting the European market or even merging both of them together. So collaboration can actually be a powerful tool if you look at it that way.
Thank you so much. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so we're going to move on to the future of empowerment. And for each panelist, I'd like you to tell the audience in one sentence, what does sustainable empowerment look like for Africa's beauty industry over the next decade?
Just let's say building community, really.
Educating the communities and focusing on education, really.
Thank you.
I would say merging nature and science.
Thank you. Please, can we give them a round of let's encourage them. I have learned so much today, and I'm so thankful to be here with you. This was so insightful. I'm going to go through a quick fire round. This is our fun ending to this session. And we're going to give short answers only. So it's random. Anybody can pick up questions. So if empowerment were a beauty look, what would it be?
Smoky eyes.
Thank you for that. In one word, what's the secret to thriving together in beauty?
Cooperation.
Thank you. If your brand were a beauty brand, what would it be and why?
A serum that simplifies your entire life, because that's pretty much what I do, make complex science simple.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
And all-in-one pigmenting.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Love that. Beautiful answer. So, thank you guys for coming. We're coming to the close of this session. It's been so insightful. I feel like I just went through a whole masterclass. And I'm looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you and working with you as part of the beauty industry. These are really intelligent, amazing, beautiful women who are learned, who are willing to share, who are insightful, and I'm so impressed. So thank you so much for being here. This conversation has shown that collaboration is not just a strategy, it's a catalyst for empowerment, innovation, and long-term growth across Africa's beauty industry. So thank you all, and thank you for coming.